we turn to Wenping. She's a senior research fellow at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. I think that piece kind of illustrated this as a wide-ranging discussion on several issues. What were your key takeaways?
Well, my takeaway is I think there's a solidarity, unity, and also speak for one voice from the global south, and also development and prosperity. Those are the key words for this, G77 China, and also this even previously non-alignment movement, this gathering also taken place in Uganda, Kampala. Actually, China always regarded ourselves as the biggest developing country in the world, and also the only developing country, especially in the UN, this Security Council, and Africa. Of course, not only Africa, this time around, G77, and all those non-alignment movement country also representing the almost the majority of the all global South country. So for them, they think now is the time for them to speak for one voice, and also not only one voice. This voice should be heard, and this voice should be loudly can shape some international the big issue. This decision making cannot be marginalized. In the what happening in the past those decades. Now it's also the time for more like this mutually supporting each other for economic development. Because during the past time, all those South countries, they're all poor. Like now, China, India, they're now becoming emerging countries, so they have this power to share the experiences and also their capacity.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're talking about developing countries finding their voice. There were calls for reforms in the global governance systems. They say that these systems favor the West, and we're hearing renewed calls for change. Can you talk about that theme as well?
Yes, especially you see African countries, this time they are hosting this conference. They're saying they have no seat at all in the UN Security Council. When UN Security Council talking most of those cases like peacekeeping, peace maintaining, all those things, happening in Africa, but actually there's no voice speak out for Africa, their own thoughts. That is why they has been always saying UN Security Council should do a reform and should including more voice coming from Africa, coming from developing country, coming from those G77. Because you see all those five now big members in UN Security Council are all like European country, are most British and also French. Actually, this is one thing. And also like IMF, World Bank, all those international financial institutions also long time short of those voice coming from developing country, coming from those G77, and plus, many other those global platforms.
Right, and even the UN Secretary General, on the themes you're just describing, put his support behind the idea of reform, saying the systems, as he put it, are out of date, out of time, and out of step, reflecting a bygone age when many of your countries were colonized. He complained that the UN Security Council is paralyzed, basically, because of geopolitical divisions. So the question is, can these group of countries actually form a bloc and actually push the UN and these world bodies in a new direction?
Well, yes, it's not optimistic at all. As we just have seen, especially in the recent years since Ukraine crisis broke out, since last October, this Israel-Hamas war broke out. So we have seen this UN Security Council, even it's very hard to pass through any resolutions because the country there, sitting there, can veto this resolution, can veto that one. So now it seems like not functional at all. So that is why even the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, when he came to Kampala to join this G77+China meeting, so he has also calling for like a reform about those international institutions, of course, including the UN Security Council itself. But now the question is, it is too difficult, it's not easy to moving forward this kind of reform.
Yeah, well, you've given us a lot to think about. Thanks so much for your insights. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.